is up, YouTube? I'll tell you what's up, it's messed up backs. So you got it, we're talking kyphosis, not just kyphosis, lordosis, scoliosis, all of the other osises that can happen to your spine. I have not done a video about this in a long time. Despite that, I get 90, no not 90, but a very high proportion of my video views are still on my first few kyphosis videos. That shit is popular, and there are viewers out there asking questions on a regular basis. So I'm going to address a couple of things here. One, yes, I'm not really up to date with comments on the kyphosis videos, so apologies to anyone I haven't responded to. Secondly, there is actually like a main part to this video, and it is all gonna be about Pilates. Now don't turn off until you've heard what I have to say about that, because I didn't really know much about it, and then I learned some stuff about it and actually found that it may be one of the best forms of exercise that people with messed up spines, people like myself, can try to see if we get some kind of improvement from it. But I will go into that in detail. First, I want to comment on something that someone commented a couple of days ago, but I've also seen comments about it before, and it's about back braces. Apparently this guy's GP told him, or girl, apologies, didn't really pay that much attention to what the name was. So yeah, this person's GP told them that they should have had a back brace when they were younger, and ergo, nothing can be done now to correct their spine. Okay, I'm not a GP, I'm not an osteopath, I'm not a chiropractor, but I do have opinions based on information that I have read, based on information I have watched stuff about, and based on anecdotes from things we know from real life. So let's look at this. Why do you get kyphosis? Why have you got kyphosis? The most common answers you'll get are that we spend too long looking at our phones, we spend too long hunched over our laptops or computers, or we are, emotionally broken, and so we're not confident, so we do this, right? We hide ourselves away. And what happens if you constantly put yourself in one position of the spine is the spine becomes locked into that position, either in the short term by muscular imbalances, or in the long term by spinal fusion, so vertebrae actually amalgamating like two become one, just like the Spice Girls song, but a lot less romantic and much less comfortable also. So my main issue with the idea of back brace is that if you're wearing a back brace, you cannot move your spine. And what happens when we don't move our spine is our spine loses the ability to move. And so, yes, I can kind of appreciate that it may be of some assistance in the short term to prevent people from getting kyphotic, by holding you upright. But I really think a lack of movement in the spine is what's unhealthy. If you're constantly flexing and extending your spine, the joints stay healthy, the muscle surrounding it stays strong, and as a result you have a healthy, flexible spine. I mean, take for instance yoga people, right? Most yoga guys have great posture, and they can also do a crazy back bridge, right? Because they can flex their spine all the way up, all the way through, or rather that would be extension, extend the spine all the way up, but then being able to do that doesn't then prevent them from holding their back straight. Normally it's quite the opposite. So my opinion of back braces is that they're probably not the best way to go, because really we need to keep movement in the spinal joints to keep it healthy. And so we come on to Pilates and the main purpose of this video. I am going to begin, I've already done a few sessions, but I'm going to really begin to try and get into Pilates, doing it 3 times a week in between my other workouts that I'm currently doing. Yes, I haven't put much about fitness on this channel in a while, but I will be getting back to that, and be assured I am currently working out and trying to work on a bit of a transformation. But alas, I digress. So 3 times a week I'm going to try and do Pilates, and I may increase that. But why Pilates, and why am I so excited about it? Why do I think it could be the cure for all of our messed up backs? So Pilates was invented by a guy called Joseph Pilates, who was quite sickly as a child, and as is often the case for people who are sickly as a child, he then spent his life pursuing ways to not be sickly, and he invented Pilates and all of the the Pilates method, which has Pilates exercises within it. He invented the reformer, and all the other pieces of Pilates equipment that you see, but also a lot of exercises you can do without any equipment. Now, he based his exercise protocol on something he observed in nature, and that is that things that are youthful, whether they're human, whether they're dog, whether they're monkey, lizard, whatever, things in nature, animals which are young and appear young and virile, have two things in common. One, a strong core to stabilize and support their body through movement, and two, a flexible spine. As we get older, we tend to lose flexibility in the spine, and that's true of all animals, especially humans, because through lack of movement throughout our life. When we're kids, we play and we stretch and we have reflexes that tell us to do this when people are holding us. And then as we get older, we get conditioned not to do that and do things that are unhealthy instead. But Pilates is the opposite of that. So all of the exercises, or 90+% of the exercises, revolve around strengthening the core and making the spine more flexible. So these exercises that cause you to flex and extend the spine repeatedly, taking it to its full range of motion, and over time hopefully extending that range of motion, will also obviously stretch and strengthen the muscles around the spine which affect your current posture. You will also get a stronger core, which will prevent lordosis, which is obviously another big issue for a lot of people. And in general, how can an exercise protocol which is designed to keep you looking young by making your spine flexible and making your core strong, the two things we know mess up our posture, be a negative thing for people who are trying to correct their posture, right? I always used to think Pilates was just like a wussy exercise program, like really light body weight exercise that wasn't really going to get you any results. But having done the research and learning about the guy who invented it, I'm actually really inspired to give this a go and let you guys know if I have any progress from it. I got myself a book, I believe it's called Pilates for Men. It specializes in areas that men tend to be weak, which is flexibility of the hamstrings, weak core, and lack of flexibility in the spine, and negates more like upper body strength and things that tend to be higher in men, lower in women, naturally. Obviously there are outliers to that all the time, but this is the course I went for, and it says after 90 sessions and 90 times repeating this program, your body will be basically entirely different. It will be a world of change. So I'm going to go do my next session now. I'm going to film a session for you guys coming up in the next couple of weeks when I get more comfortable with all of the movements, and kind of give you my opinion of it. But if you've never really learned much about Pilates, then do check it out. Google Joseph Pilates, find out his story, find out if you agree that you think Pilates may help with your messed up spine if you have one. It's what I'm going to be trying at the moment, and I will let you know how I get on. But in my opinion, yes, let's just say it, moving the spine and keeping it flexible and supple and mobile is the most important thing. If you think that flexing or extending your spine is bad, then just go look at a cat, right? You see a cat all the time stretching their spine, and they are some of the most flexible, most graceful beings that exist on our earth. They aren't having spinal problems that humans are having, and the reason we're having them is because we're not moving naturally and properly anymore. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you want, like the video, if you want, subscribe, if you want. And if you want, I will see you all in the next video. Peace and goodwill, my friends.